don't know.
You're getting the hang of it.
Was that me or you?
Yeah, that was definitely you.
I think that was
definitely you. I was wondering, I mean, I hate to ask.
Yeah, what's up?
But instead of paying me for this lesson, I've actually been dating someone online for like 2 years by the name of Jordan. And I haven't been able to meet up with Jordan. No FaceTime. Been bailed on a couple times. And I was wondering if you could help me. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm happy to help. I just can't believe this is happening to you.
Yeah.
No FaceTime.
No. But Jordan
Where
and I
does
really...
Jordan live?
In New York City.
In New York? For
Yeah.
2 years and you haven't met? What the
Yeah.
heck? Well, I am happy to help.
Okay.
I think we just reach out to Jordan,
Okay.
make contact, and plan a meetup.
That sounds great. All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
You do it?
Yeah. All right.
I think I see Jordan.
I've been thinking of us, holding hands on the bus, going nowhere. Take any reason to run. Feel like the moon chasing the sun. We're fooling at the earth, but never meet in the middle. And if we did, it would burn to the ground. So I just can't think about us. I just wanna go to a place where you don't exist. Flying from this hole, put my heart out of your abyss. 'Cause summer days fade tonight, and that dark starts creeping in. Maybe I wish I missed the bus that day. 'Cause you were looking for lust. I wanted someone to trust, but you're a liar. A perfect reason to run, but in my head you're still the one. Clarity for a moment, scratch you out of the picture, paint you back as soon as you're gone. Oh, I can't help but think about us. I just wanna go to a place where you don't exist. Flying from this hole, pull my heart out of your abyss. The summer days fade tonight, and that dark starts creeping in. Maybe I wish I missed the bus that day. Where was the fun in lying to me? Dreams on the road and faded. It seems words have been done and I'm left complete. But I'm still missing your smile, baby. I just wanna go to a place where you don't exist. Flying from this hole, pull my heart out of your abyss. The summer days fade tonight, and that dark starts creeping in. Maybe I wish I missed the bus that. Maybe I wish I missed the bus that. Maybe I wish I missed the bus that day. What?
I think I see Jordan. obviously not Jordan. Why did you lie?
I wanted to be who you wanted me to be. It wasn't all a lie.
I told you I was gay.
Well, I guess now we know that that's why you didn't take my number.
Augie Bello!
What's up, Scotty? How's it going?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've never been better, honestly. You
are-
know, coming from Long Island, this is what this is what we live for.
Wasn't this like 20 minutes of what we wasted time with the first time we did this?
Yeah, I mean, quite a wasted potential. That's what I'd say.
Well, we'll get to that. That's a whole section.
Yeah, absolutely.
You made the first ever cold open for the Vibe Chamber.
Oh wow, that's very exciting for me.
I'm very Well, I think it went great. We wanted to do this is the whole thing is we wanted to do this a week ago.
Yes,
Because it was all part of a big marketing ploy.
yes,
One big plan to have it in June, but we unfortunately had to postpone. But
yes,
we are here, and maybe the video's already been out, but
yes.
in part of that video is a big announcement, which is
Yes, that's
which
true.
at this point last week would have been an announcement and is now just rehashing. But
Yep.
you have officially come out.
Yes, I've officially. Oh, thank you for the applause. Yeah, I for a long time did not come out, and then I decided, you know what? Let's do that. So yeah, I basically wanted to make this EP and this music video just a way to finally kind of release things that I've been kind of things that I've chose not to show lots of people. So I was excited to finally put it out.
Jokes aside, what was the buildup? Like, how long ago did you say, I'm going to come out, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do it through a music video? Or was that always the plan? It's going to be like a joint thing where I can announce it through something that I make?
No, that was kind of never the plan until one of my friends who's made my past music video, You're the Reason, he said, hey, I'm going to have these cameras for a week, which are like they're Lexus cameras, right? Is that right?
Ari Alexa.
Ari Alexa.
I
So
believe.
he's like, yeah, you're right. And he basically told me, hey, I'm going to have these cameras. If you'd like to do a music video, let me know. And I was thinking of doing a music video for a different song called Magnet, because that's one of my favorite songs that I've made. But I decided to go with Thinking of Us, and was like, I remember I floated this idea by him. I was like, hey, what if I like asked my friend Neve from Catfish to be in the video? And I was like, and I just come out, I use this whole music video as a chance to, basically throw people off in the beginning where they think Jordan could be a girl. But it was kind of just a joke. I was like, oh yeah, I could make this big whole music video. And then at some point I was like, you know what? Like, why am I holding this? Like, why am I so afraid to do this, basically? And I was like, you know what? I don't want to have a conversation with every family member, every friend, every person I meet, because I don't come off as your stereotypical gay person. So I thought that this music video could be a great opportunity to just basically, this is what it is, and not, have to have that conversation a ton of times. But yeah, not originally my intention at all. And in fact, I never thought that I ever would. Um, you ever watch The Incredibles, Scotty?
Yeah, I've seen The Incredibles.
In my head, right, when I was young, which obviously this is complete lunacy, but I think it's funny. You know how Frozone and Mr. Incredible, they go on their bowling trip?
Yes.
Well, I thought, like, oh, like, look at that. Like, they are with their wives and families. And then Frozone and Mr. Incredible go bowling, but they really fight crime.
Yes.
So, like, I was thinking, maybe we're not fighting crime. When I was like a little kid. So I would say no. I never expected to do it.
So this was like the... That's the funniest analogy I've ever heard. I mean, I guess that would make sense. If you're thinking about this at a young age, you're going to use your, like, the things that are around you. So the idea is like, there's a good possibility that this for the rest of my life is something that I just do for me. No one knows about it. There was a
Yes.
genuine thought that this might never be a public thing. And that's before you even had a public persona where people would actually where more than just your friends and family would know about it and care.
Yeah, exactly. So that's when I was a little kid.
Did you ever consider?
So that was.
Did you ever think about doing like one of those like YouTube videos, the I'm gay, undercase period, like announcement videos? For real? Did you ever?
No, honestly, I would say the biggest thing that pushed me to finally come out was, there's a couple things. One of the biggest things is my boyfriend, Aiden. Not even him pushing me to do it. It's just the fact that he's someone that's super, super special to me. In fact, he made this sweater here, this vest. And
what's the website people can get those?
Yeah, so he just launched his website. Let's see, it might be aidenalvarez.com, but I'll find it and send it to you. But basically, it came to a point where, like, we met back in October, just hung out as friends, and then in January he was in New York for a layover, and we just like got along really, really well. And then over time, like, we'd make visits to each other, and we started dating. And I, to love somebody and to tell them to hide, that you're in a relationship is just like, I didn't want to hide it. And him being out and being so comfortable with himself, it was like, man, I feel like I'm so proud of this person and I want to show him off to the world. So I need, like, for myself, and for him and for everyone, just need to, like, show who I truly am. So, like, a huge shout out to him for, bearing with me for those first, couple months where I was still figuring out how am I going to do this. And that's when that opportunity came up for, to make a music video. And I was like, might as well tie it all together.
So do you think that if you had never met Aiden, this could have been pushed back a significant amount of time before this actually happened?
100%. Because for me, like, there came a certain point where I was like, this is, I am gay, there's tons of times where I would be like, oh no, this isn't the case. And you're just, but I had a thought process of, I will come out when I'm dating somebody that I truly enjoy being with and truly love. Because if anything goes wrong with my family, my friends, my career, at least I have somebody by my side through that. So without him, who knows, when that would have happened. So I'm very lucky that, to have someone like that. So
how much?
Absolutely.
So you had I'm sure, I mean, we've talked about this before, but I'm sure there was many nights where you're thinking, like, weighing the options. Do I do it at all? Do I just say it? Do I try to, like, sneak it in somewhere? Did you always want it to be something where it's like, bam, this? Or did you kind of ever consider just kind of slipping it in? Like, like hint here, and you never actually make an announcement.
Yeah.
It just kind of naturally happens.
Well, I'll admit, at some point I was like, look at Harry Styles. You know, Harry Styles from a career standpoint, right? I think career and personal life can coexist, but there are definitely elements that aren't displayed.
You're dressed like Harry Styles.
I guess I am, right? But I did think for a while, like, hey, if I can somehow try to have an appeal to both women and men in a career standpoint, that could be cool. But from a like being real and being yourself standpoint, that kind of was a very short thought, I would say. So yeah, it's and like just think about all of your friends or yourself or anyone, like if you're dating somebody and you're proud of them, maybe you want to post a picture from time to time or like, you know, do a video or something together, and being able to do that while, you know, not feeling nervous or, you know, is a really great feeling. So
Keyword there being from time to time, because if I see anyone post too much stuff, it upsets me. I'm like, this is, let's stop here. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, this is my girlfriend. Shut up. Okay. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Okay. My lovely wife, my lovely husband. You know what I would love? If you broke your computer with a fucking hammer so I never have to see this shit, because it's your relationship. It's not mine. So as long as I'll critique you. I will publicly critique you. If I see
please do.
the coming out post, beautiful. My girlfriend Libby, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say I love you, because then I just went back on what I just did. But she told me, she was like, I was DJing and she texted me. She's like, I'm reading Augie's post, and I'm just crying. She's like, I'm just sobbing right now. I thought that was beautiful. But
that is nice. Yeah.
But if we go every couple days, I start seeing posts, I will knock you down a couple notches.
Trust me, I know if there's anyone who's gonna roast me first, it's gonna be you.
No, I mean, it's sweet, and it's honestly, I don't know. You know me. I have a pet peeve with people who share their relationship stuff.
Of course,
too. It's the worst.
Well, hey, for me, you know, it's 24 years of no relationship. It's I'm gonna start doing every couple hours, you know, just to compensate.
I'll give you a year. You have 1 year, and you can do whatever you want. And you know, there's that initial window, the trial, test and trial window, 365 days from June 30th at midnight. Then it's open rain, and I will bust your balls as much as I want to.
You mean June 30th at 12 p.m., then June 30th at 9, and then June 30th at 10:30, actually.
Why is that?
That's a very, I guess, inside joke.
We had there were some technical issues with the release, shall we say.
Yeah, there were some technical issues with kind of getting that project finalized. But, you know, I'm glad it's out. I'm happy that we got to do this again, because I mean, there was nothing stopping us, but you were the first guest on this show ever. That's right.
And that was, let's see, what is it, July 7th? What is that? 12, 24, 30, 34 months ago? Almost 3 full years. You were the first ever guest. I think it was like the end of September or something. And that's absolutely amazing, because this is episode 46. You were episode 1. And it's amazing because so much has changed. Because I remember you had just, you had just hit like 50 or 60,000 followers on Instagram. This was before the whole, before you ended up doing TikTok a bunch and blowing up there. And now you're like the TikTok guy now, which is crazy to me.
I guess.
Because you were just the guy from my school, and then it was the Instagram guy. Now it's the TikTok. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Threads in a couple weeks.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be canceled so quickly on Threads.
Do you have? I know you like to say your opinions, but they're tweets, right? You've said them on Twitter before.
Well, yeah, but I started putting them on Threads. Like yesterday, I what would I say? I threaded.
I don't know. I get the concept, but here's the problem. The core problem with Threads is that it's going to be monitored, where Twitter is just kind of free roam, especially at this point. And so I think that's going to hold it back, because it's just going to be like, why would I post on Threads where there's a chance that my stuff gets like taken down and all that, when I can just
That's true.
Post whatever I want on Twitter. And there's no hashtags. I don't know. There's no real way to get discovered. So it's like a friend to friend social media more than like a content creation standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I did a thread yesterday that was like, if you change deodorants every time your deodorant runs out, you're a psycho. Thanks.
Wait, like if you
Yeah, like,
like if you buy a different scent.
a different brand. Yeah, you're crazy. Like, you got to have loyalty.
I'm gonna be
You know?
honest. I buy whatever's like the cheapest one at the store I go to at the
But it's
time.
always Speed Stick, isn't it?
Is that the gray one? Yes,
Yeah.
I get Speed Stick Irish Spring.
That's fine. I'm cool with that. But if you're going Speed Stick, Dove, Axe, Irish, whatever the other one is, we have an issue.
My problem is I don't want to get like anyone that's too strong, because you know those people that really like cake it on, and then you walk by them and it like blows your face back. You're like, holy shit, from the from the scent of their armpits.
Absolutely.
How did we get here?
I have no clue.
Well,
Threads.
I don't even know how we got to Threads, but I wanted to jump back because the music video is a big thing, and I was very fortunate to be a part of it. I was not fortunate that I had to lug my drums around, but that's a different argument. But I was very happy to be in it. And I'm very like, I don't know. I just had a great time doing it. It was nice for us to all kind of get back and make something creative together, because the last time we had done that was when we did our podcast for like 2 months with
That's right.
Wasted Potential, which is ironic. We named it the worst name ever to give up on.
We did. But it's very embarrassing.
I don't know. I had a great time doing it. But then you know how it was. You know how my job was.
Oh yeah, miserable.
That was when
Totally
I was
miserable.
I was still a page when I did that, right?
Yes.
Because I was interviewing to take a job with Gayle King, which would have been a very busy job. Like I literally would have had no ability to schedule things. So
That would have been brutal.
So there is, no matter what, that we were destined to fail at that.
Fail rhymes with Gale.
But I want to ask about the music video. Like I said, a great part.
Yeah.
Neve from Catfished is in it. And I've actually never met Neve. You shot all that stuff separately. I know I think he came to a show of ours, right?
Yes, he came to the Bello Bash back when that was happening.
And I never got the chance to meet him. And one thing I never asked you is, how did you meet Neve? Because it was just kind of like, you're like, oh, my friend Neve from this big show on MTV that I never knew about. How did you get in touch with it?
We followed each other on Instagram for about 3 years. And then I invited him to one of our shows back a couple years ago. And there was one time he couldn't make it because he got sick, and then there was another time he showed up. And then I played at a couple events that he was, speaking at, and we just started hanging out more and more. So the whole relationship started through Instagram, and now we've been friends for about like two years, I would say.
How long ago did you go to him and say, can we do a parody of not just a show, but your own show with you in it? How long ago did you talk to him about that, and what was his idea? Was he initially like, I don't know, or is he full on right when you asked him?
He was full on in. It's funny, I asked him back in February, and I was super cautious to do it because I don't want him to feel like, we're friends now. Hey, can you do this thing with me?
Yeah.
So Neve and I have always kind of helped each other out in a way. Like, he'll be at some charity event and say, hey, would you be down to play saxophone? Yeah, I'm down. I've played at a couple different parties of his. And then, he was so down. He's known before the video dropped, before we even filmed the video that I was gay. But he was super supportive and super willing to do it, which was really, really cool. And thank you to Neve for willing to be in the video. But yeah, we found the date, and we just, I wrote this script very, it was very much improv. I mean, I had certain points that we had to hit. Yes, exactly. But yeah.
How's the reception been since the video came out, specifically about you coming out? How's the feedback been from people who follow you?
it's been really, really, really good. It kind of, it makes me kind of laugh a little bit with how nervous I was to do it. People have been super, super supportive. And yeah, I guess I'm really lucky to have such supportive fans and friends and some family that, you know, they are, as long as I'm happy, they're happy, which is really cool.
I mean, you're fortunate that, I mean, any type of artistic thing, I don't think your audience is going to be particularly upset about that announcement. I don't think, like, I think it bodes well. That kind of audience is good for this kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they're not going to roast you about it, but the internet is the internet. And as soon as anyone with any amount of following basically says anything, you know, so the fact that you've gotten almost universally good feedback is kind of surprising, to be honest.
Yeah, and I would say that that's kind of like a big lesson I learned, and a big lesson maybe I'd like to like say to anyone who might be in my position. A big reason I was scared to come out is I had painted this picture for years, forever, for my entire life. I come off as like very masculine, straight dude. Like anyone who's met me throughout my life has just assumed. So for me, I was like, if I say that I am gay, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, he's never been like that. Oh, as soon as he went to the new school or as soon as he moved into the city, you know, things must have changed, blah, blah, blah. And the biggest lesson I would say that I've learned from this whole experience is basically like what you are positive about in your head is usually completely wrong. So for me, in my head, I was completely positive that like family would be like, no, you're not, and like upset with me and really, you know, not supportive and you know, but that was all like, that was a picture that I had painted and was positive of. And then as soon as I, you know, had the courage to just rip that Band-Aid off, I realized, looking at the Band-Aid, there wasn't much hair on it. It was like, you know, the least attached Band-Aid, but I had it like this, like holding on to it.
Yeah.
So I'm if I guess if you're in the same situation where like you're really nervous to do it, you know, there will be some people in your life that maybe don't fully accept it or aren't fully comfortable, but I would say in the times that we're in, there's going to be an overwhelming like majority who are going to support you. And you know, if you're a good person who cares what you're doing or what you're, you know, who you're attracted to and, you know, who you love, it doesn't really matter in the long run.
I mean, the idea that like, I've always thought it's crazy because there are people who will have people in their family who are like violent alcoholics, and they'll be like, oh, Jimmy, he just has his problems. But then that same person might be like, oh, Tommy's gay? Nope. No good. Can't talk to him.
We don't.
It's like,
No, you know, he was such a wonderful boy. What a shame. You know, oh, what an awful thing.
it's terrible. I mean, Jimmy did beat the shit out of him, but he's fine. It's just when he's on the bottle, it gets a little problematic.
Yes, I'd rather the bottle than the bottom is what I say.
I love that you can make these jokes now. I love it.
It didn't stop me before.
Yes, but now you can make them. I can't make these jokes as much, but you could make these jokes.
Right. Stop laughing.
I wanted to ask though, because you said how the idea of being a gay man who isn't like perceived as gay, who's not, you know, like everyone has this idea of like a very effeminate man, and you say that you don't feel like you are that. Mm-hmm. Does that make it difficult, or just do you feel does it not, is it hard for you to relate to the kind of public perception of what being gay is when you don't see yourself in that kind of marketed, you know, image?
I would say that there's a couple issues that I've found. So internally, it was like people are going to, when I do come out, I was thinking like people are going to doubt me and say, you know, it's something that was learned over time, or, you know, it was experiences, and it wasn't truly, how I was. So that was one. Just because of how I present, I thought people would be like, yeah, okay. Two, I wish that there were more, that all these pride campaigns, I feel like there's a big hole. So like, of course we celebrate people who look, wear whatever they want to wear. They're attracted to who they're attracted to. But I've never really seen somebody who's like me, in any of these pride ads or pride commercials so it was also tough for me because like there was people that I could look up to who have, come out and told their story, but I didn't feel that they really presented similarly to me, which isn't a problem at all. But for me, it was made it a little bit harder because I didn't see anyone who seemed like me in those situations. So I think that's another reason that I decided to come out, is because like I know that there's more people who are like me, in terms of maybe how they might stereotypically present, and I wanted to basically be somewhat of a voice of like yeah, you can be, however you want to be and be attracted to whoever you want to be. It doesn't, it's not, you don't have to you don't have to conform to what people are thinking. I would say the only other tough part about somewhat presenting straight is throughout my time where I was closeted, there's a lot of, at least from my experience, there are a lot of guys who want to like turn the straight guy gay. And it's hard to, at least in that period of my life, was hard to find someone to date and relate to who wasn't just kind of looking for like a trophy of like
fetishizing in a way.
Yeah, exactly. I would say somewhat fetishized. But that's another thing, is like if you are in the closet, I would say it's much, much, much tougher to meet somebody who's genuine and, really gonna care about you. Because when you're in the closet, you're looking in the wrong places and you're hiding so much. Like, how can you truly be honest to somebody if you can't be like honest with yourself and the people the closest to you? So, I think it's important to, take time, but I found it to be very helpful, even though it's only been a couple weeks, to finally like release this hold I had. But that's been a slow journey. I would say like part of me coming out was months ago finally like telling people, and a year ago like telling people that were in my circle, my friends, people that I met, I held it so close to me. So once I had finally opened up a bit and told, my friends, and Aiden, like when we hung out in October,
sweetie, I have something to tell you. I'm attracted to you.
But for real though, when we hung out in October, it was just, Augie, like, I was like, oh, Aiden's super cool, he's super attractive, and I
he's
think,
hot.
Damn, he's hot. No, but the way I came off is like probably like, oh, he's straight, we could be best friends, and like being able to be in the place where, over time throughout our friendship, I like told him I would have never done years ago. So I mean, it's important to take your time and with your journey, but also, don't be so afraid of how people will react, because the people who love you and care about you should always be there for you, and will always care. I mean, maybe that wasn't what they pictured for you, but they'll get over it, or that's their loss, and you just got to keep plugging forward.
And talking about like representation, especially in marketing, you know how Pride Month is. There's all all these ads. I think there's a core issue with it is that the thing with the stereotyping is that if you want to have an ad that is for Pride Month, it's less about we want to make an ad that includes someone who's part of the LGBT community, but instead is easy for people to know they are part of that. You know what I mean? It's less. It's so that's interesting for someone like you because you're not someone who would get picked for that kind of ad because it doesn't immediately say that's a Pride ad. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm hoping turns around because, as much as a lot of people are like saying a lot of these, I mean, just people in general would say stereotyping is bad, but to like never really show somebody who doesn't immediately fall into the mold of like the public's perception basically makes it so that anyone who isn't stereotypically gay doesn't really have that representation. So I'm hoping at some point, to see more, it's funny to say, but more inclusion in the different types of people who could be gay and stuff, which is funny to say, I guess. But, I just think for people who might be in my shoes, it could be a bit helpful.
And that's why you chose to have this specifically come out the last day of Pride Month?
Yeah, exactly. I wanted it to be like to end Pride. Here it is.
You're the grand finale of Pride Month.
Really, up to the last minute.
That's true. It was like, I was DJing and it was like 11 o'clock and I was like, released. I got the notification. Augie Bello is premiering.
Yep.
But it's, we got it now. And like I said, you're the first ever cold open. I'd like to do more of those, but to be honest, I've never had a reason to do a cold open before. So I'm happy that you chose this medium to bestow upon me.
Absolutely.
Your finalized art.
This is the only place that I would. So, or Wasted Potential.
Or Wasted Potential. Well, no one would do that. I wanted to show though. Look in the chat. I sent you a couple pictures. Yeah, I want to show because like I was going to show them earlier and I forgot. We were talking about the fact that it's been 3 years since the first episode of this show. So much has happened with you. The show has done 45 other episodes of this. And I want to show, look at this. Do you see this
What's
picture?
What's in the chat?
There should be two.
All right,
why am I hearing myself? No, wrong chat. The Zoom chat.
Oh, the Zoom chat.
Yeah,
I'm so confused.
Look at this picture. I got a picture of you in almost the same spot, but you look
like a child.
We both do. You look maybe 8 years younger. 3 years ago. Is that a bad thing? And then I look, oh my Lord, I look like I'm 13. Not that I don't look 13 now, but it was much worse back then.
You're like, yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's funny though. Back then, I don't know if you see the picture. This was my idea of a set, right? I had the Subway poster. I had a coffee machine because my idea. This was my theory.
And a keyboard.
This was my theory. Keyboard. Oh, it's music, right? And I swear this is exactly what I was thinking. None of it is a mistake. This was all intentional. Keyboard. Oh, the music, the coffee. It's like, oh, we're at a diner. We're chilling. It's the vibe chamber, man. We're chilling,
Vibing.
And then I had one singular light. Do you remember I had that light? It was drilled into my wall.
Yes, of course.
That was a classic. It was literally drilled into my wall. And then the deck of cards, I think the deck of cards was just because I was into Magic. Remember how big I was into Magic back then?
Yes, dude.
And
COVID was like the time of Magic.
Yes, it was I spent so much time with that freaking deck of cards. I think I just threw them away, actually. I just think it's funny to look back at this because, man, so much has happened since then.
I know.
I have more than one light now.
I know, dude.
You still have the thing, the
TV?
The ball thing hanging in.
Oh, yeah, the kendama.
The kendama, exactly.
I got that from Teddy Swims.
I loved it. I joined one of his live streams and it was so funny. I said, "Hey Teddy, what's up?" And he's going like, hey, Jimmy, how's it going? Hey, Tommy, good to see you. Oh, it's my family. And then he goes, Scotty Madonia, you dummy. I hate you. Get out of here. And then I said, what are you wearing, U.S. Polo Association? He goes, I hate you, man. You're so stupid. Get out of here, man. Then he goes, Scotty Madonia is a dumb goober. I hate him.
That's hilarious, dude. That's so hilarious.
I love Teddy. Okay, we're almost out of time, but I have a couple questions from fans of yours, and I want to get to them because we've spent a lot of time talking, but I want to make sure we get these in. The first one, we have to have Ian Miller. He's been around from following you for so long.
Yes.
He's been watching this show since the last time you were here.
Yes.
So we got to start with him. He just, first of all, he said, awesome video, in regards to the Thinking of Us. It must have taken a lot of work to put together, and it's a great song. Also a beautiful way to come out. He said, what's next for you musically?
It's right now I'm working on a full-length album with my friend Jordan Cohen. So that's kind of my main focus for right now. I'm super, super excited. Thank you so much for always following and supporting Ian. You've been following for years and always supportive. So I appreciate you.
Ian, as soon as I can afford to figure out how to send something to Scotland, I'm going to send you merch. But I first have to have enough money to buy that merch and then ship it to you. So when I have that, we'll talk.
Ian will never have merch.
Well, you probably. Okay, this next one is Drums Jake, who says, tips to getting a footing in New York City. I want to relocate to the city, but the scene, this is brutal, okay? Let's reverse this back. This is terrible. He said, I want to relocate, but the New York City scene seems intimidating. So what's tips for getting a footing?
Sorry. I would say if you move here, come to a bunch of jam sessions. What genre do you want to be in? There is a ton of jam sessions where you could meet artists who are in the same exact boat as you. So don't wait. Don't wait for someone to invite you to one of these things. Just go Monday night jam at the bitter end, the Monday night jam, producer Mondays. Just get out there and you'll find your community and slowly grow.
Dope.
But yeah,
what were you gonna say? You have more?
Just don't. The beginning could be tough, I will be honest, but don't get discouraged too quickly, because as long as you keep pushing forward, you'll keep putting yourself in those situations where you could meet somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So yeah.
Dope. Okay, this last one comes from The Secret Snake, who said, what's your favorite song off the EP?
Historically, my favorite song on the EP is probably Thinking of Us. I wrote it with my friend Zamir Zarouk, and I wrote it about a year ago. And it's basically the story of basically you just can't stand somebody. And
is it about me?
Yes, it's about Scotty Madonia. It's about the Vibe Chamber and its host, Scotty Madonia.
What's the toast?
And its host.
Oh, it's a toast. I gotcha. Okay, I understand.
But hey, really quickly, I'm just gonna put in the chat, if you do like this sweater, this is the link to go purchase something from his shop if you'd like to.
And I'm also gonna put a link. I'll get that link and I'll put it in the description once the stream goes down and the final high definition version is uploaded. HD. This will be there for you.
Awesome.
Well, Augie, thank you so much for doing this. Let's do it again in 3 more years. Everyone,
we'll be like this. We'll be all like,
yeah.
I remember.
We're all gonna be senile. We'll be like, remember when we remember? Are gonna look like.
I remember when we remembered. Yeah.
Remember, I said we aged up like 7 years in the last 3 years. That's gonna be exponential. We're gonna age up like 20 in the next 3.
It's gonna be brutal.
Oh Lord. Well, everyone, go stream Augie wherever you stream your music. Anything you want to push before you leave?
No, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for everyone for still supporting. And yeah, go check out the EP. Thanks, Scotty.
Hell yeah. Well, let's end this because it is 150 degrees in New York City right now, and we've had our ACs off for 45 minutes. I'm not sweating because of the gay thing. I'm sweating because of the heat thing. Okay, y'all.
There's so many things I could say. Anyway.
Well, wait till the camera comes off. Okay, y'all. We will see you next week, I believe, at 8 o'clock. Check the Instagram, and then hopefully it doesn't get canceled. I'll see you guys later.